what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's special edition of the Frisco Report. We're going to talk about this game here, Mike. Cowboys versus the Jaguars. Preseason game number 1 is in the bag. We got a lot to talk about, man. A lot of interesting things came out of this game. We're talking about, really who showed up, who surprised us, who could have done better, and who didn't do good, this sorts of things. So, Mike, without further ado, how you doing tonight, bro?
Doing good, man. Ready to talk about these Cowboys, Joe. Yes, we're talking about a preseason game, but most importantly, we're talking about football, all right? And that is the beauty of it. That is fantastic.
It is fantastic. Football is back in the air. The smell of freshly cut grass is a beautiful thing, although it's not fresh grass in the AT&T's that fake stuff, but you know what I mean, bro. You remember those days?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
2 days?
Dude, I'm going to tell you real quick. So, you talk about artificial turf and stuff. So, in high school, we always played on grass. We practiced on grass. We played on grass. Well, we went to this fancy stadium. It wasn't even a stadium, but the school put windmills on their property, and they got like all this money. And so they like redid their whole football field and put artificial turf down. On kickoff to open up the game, I made the tackle, and everyone's like, wear long socks, wear this, it's gonna hurt when you tackle. I'm like, it ain't gonna hurt. Dude, let me tell you this. I had tire beads like if I went to the beach, like sand. I had tire beads all over me, everywhere you can imagine. And let me tell you, every time you tackled, it hurt. It burnt, and it sucked. So there's a fun story about artificial turf.
Artificial turf, man. And if you get that stuff in your eyes, the little black, little rubbery beads, you're in trouble. Thanks for everybody that's tuning in tonight, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Can't do this without you guys. Make sure you pound that like button if you're watching it live right now with us or on the replay. Cowboys 1980 in the house. Appreciate you, bro. Good stuff indeed.
Power man himself.
The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, bro. So, man, let's get into it, man. Who to you in this game versus the Jaguars, Mike? I mean, out of all the players, give me one that really stood out, number 1 for you.
Number 1, Overshown. Holy moly. All right. I put out a tweet. I said, Overshown, Clark, and LVE, count me in. That can be the best linebacker core. Could be, right? I'm my anointing oil's right here. All right. But I'm not putting it on them yet. I'm saying it could be the best linebacker trio that the NFL has had in quite some time. All right. I mean, this is supposed to be like, what was it? It was LVE, Jalen Smith, right? That was supposed to be the best, right? But now we're talking about LVE, Damone Clark, and Overshown. Let me tell you, Overshown really, really wowed me yesterday. Because I was like, what? They drafted this guy from Texas, yada, yada. Yeah, I was not happy with the pick. But let me tell you, from what I seen yesterday, if I can see consistency on that, Joe, this will be the best linebacker core in football.
Yeah. I agree with you. Mine was Demarion Overshown as well. He's been doing really good in practice, and that's what you wanted to see in this game. And the preseason, you want to see them take this into under the lights and make plays. Bro, this guy, I never understood why some people were thought that the linebacker position was a weakness. I know some people thought that it would be or it was. I never thought that myself. I thought bring back LVE. I think Damone Clark was going to be something good here. He too, like you said, Mike, you mentioned him. He looked good. He's definitely on this list of players that really – this guy's going to be a 100-plus tackle player, man. Overshown sideline to sideline, just all around the ball. I mean, he just sniffs the ball. He sniffs the play out, right? So, amazing, bro. Amazing. I mean, I think And I mentioned this last night as I was going to go to bed, man. I said, you know, the jewel of this draft might be Overshown. Oh, Mazi Smith and this and that. We'll talk about him, but I mean, Overshown. I mean, damn, he looked the damn part, man. He looked like the part, and if Quinn stays here, sticks around, whatever, this guy, he's just gonna continue to ball out. I mean, to look like this as a rookie, Mike, pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, it's, we knew that the high side there for Overshown, we knew that it was there, right? We just had to see it. We wanted to see it to believe it. And and shout out to Coach Dante. And after yesterday, dude, believe it.
Believe it. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. How many of you old motherfuckers remember that? I bet there's only a very few. Hey, man, so what I want to know from you, Mike, let's talk about the little 5 foot whatever running back we got here, Deuce Vaughn, the story of stories. You and I talked about this offline. Is this another feel-good Jalen Smith story that we might regret later, that we're just going to force it down our throats and nothing happened? Man, dude, I'm going to eat some crow on this one here. Deuce Vaughn, bro, I mean, I know it's against, second teamers, whatever, but this is still the NFL. NFL speed, this sort of thing. This guy has the agility. Barry Sanders-esque with the spin moves. I mean, that guy looked good, man. I mean, he looked damn good to me, Mike. Deuce Vaughn.
Yes, dude. I texted you and I said, Deuce Vaughn is him. All right.
Yeah.
And he is making me eat my crow, and I'm happy to eat my crow. Like you said, Joe, was this a feel good story? Was it this? Was it that? Listen, either you have it as a running back or you don't. We've seen veterans like Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis look kind of like a shell of themselves. And then you bring in a guy like Deuce Vaughn. I mean, he brought the stadium to life. Yeah, there was a lot of hype to him. Maybe that played a part. Mm-hmm. But not only did he bring the stadium back to life, Joe, he said he said in his interview, I wanted to make sure I belong in the NFL, and I think I proved that I belong. Deuce Vaughn, you belong, all right? Man, it was good to see, but I want to see consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just, the breakaway plays, the speed, he proved a lot of stuff that I was concerned about. I was concerned about, was he going to be tripped up and just fall forward and fall down? Was he going to be an easy tackle? Guys are going to hate trying to tackle this guy, man. He is he's something special, I think, man. I think the Cowboys may have gotten himself a damn steal here with Deuce Vaughn. So we didn't see him later. Let's talk about the running game while we're talking about Deuce Vaughn. We saw a pretty decent amount of Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, and then we saw Deuce Vaughn really, shine here for us. But what's your thoughts on the running back room, the battles there? Is this is Malik Davis kind of fizzling? Is Rico Dowdle, highly in the mix? Well, what's your thoughts here on the running back room?
Well, he might be fading to some coaches because Joe, he only got 4 carries last night. Only 4 carries, 3 yards. Not good. Not good. You got to make the most of those 4 carries. And that offensive line depth played a part of it, I'm sure. But only 4 carries. Rico Dowdle got 6, 2 more. Deuce Vaughn had 8 for 50 yards, all right? So you talk about Dowdle with 6 of 21. Davis, 4 carries for 3. Deuce Vaughn made the most of his opportunities with less, Joe, with less depth on the line in front of him. He made more of the opportunity. All right. These guys better get it together because Hunter Lupek, the fullback, he looked good. They try to put him in different packages and stuff, right? He looked good. So I think at the end of the day here, the battle is going to be between Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis, and one of those guys is going to they're giving the edge to Dowdle. Dowdle has to make the most of it. What's going to happen, Joe? Don't know. But I can tell you right now, Deuce Vaughn made the most of his opportunities.
Deuce Vaughn made the most, man. I would say from the night last night, I thought Malik Davis kind of, I think the play was a little disappointing to me. Kind of ran into some. I mean, like you said, not very good blocking by this second unit, man. That's one thing we'll talk about as well. These backups are kind of not good at all, but people are still making plays. Deuce got his plays with a third, fourth string offensive line. So, you got to have some skills in this game as well. So Rico Dotto, I thought he did well. I didn't like the fumble there though. We saw some of that sloppiness in this game. But I think that if I were to start the season right now, man, it's going to be Tony Pollard, RB1, and I think Deuce Vaughn is running back too, man, and let the other guys battle out for that last spot if there is a third spot, Mike.
If there is a third spot because of that fullback. So, I mean, you could be looking at some of these guys playing on a different team just because they didn't make the most of their opportunities, Joe. But you got a super chat in there. Go ahead from Hey Lavelle.
Hey Lavelle with the super chat. Coming in hot here in our super chat. What up, Joe? I hope you guys are doing well. Deuce Vaughn is for real. And he showed great patience. Jake Ferguson looks good as well. Let's go, Cowboys, baby. Mike, I love this one here, man, because we just touched on Deuce Vaughn, Mike, but let's talk about Jake Ferguson here, man. I've been on the Ferguson train here for a while, and I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing from him. What's your thoughts on Jake Ferguson here, Mike? Year 2 Ferguson.
Yeah, no, I mean let's talk about Dalton Schultz real quick. The guy that he's going to be replacing. What I liked about Dalton Schultz coming out of Stanford was he had 9 balls thrown to him and he caught all 9. Jake Ferguson, every ball Dak Prescott threw to him, he caught every single one of them. All right, so I like that about my tight ends. You go 100% in catching, you got my attention. And Jake Ferguson, he got our attention, Joe. And you talk about year 1 to year 2 leap, he's going to look better than Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker is learning an NFL offense. Schoonmaker has been hurt and he hasn't been getting reps. So Jake Ferguson's going to look better than all our tight ends. But there's one guy that we need to talk about, Joe. But
I know who it is. On
Jake Ferguson, the year 1 to year 2 leap on one preseason game, now we got to see consistency. I like it, Joe. I like it. And this is what we need. Travis Kelce, a potential Hall of Famer, maybe first ballot, Super Bowl champion, mentioned Jake Ferguson in the offseason and said, watch out for this young guy. He can really take the league over. And he's showing that potential of what Kelce said about him.
I mean, it's talent recognizing talent, right? Swagger recognizing swagger. I love Ferguson's swagger, bro. You got to have it. You got to have swagger in this game and in every position possible, bro. He's not finesse. This guy will talk to you. He'll talk trash. He'll back it up, make a play. I love Ferguson, bro. Nobody's going to convince me that he's not tight end one. Schoonmaker, he'll be in the mix, like you said, Mike, but he's not going to come in here right off the bat and boom, I'm tight end one. He's got to earn it, and Ferguson ain't going to give it up, man. Great. Thank you very much there, A. Lavelle, for that super chat. Great comment there. Mike, let's talk about that tight end. Baby. Let's talk about that other tight end you're talking about. And I'm assuming you're talking about John Stevens.
John Stevens Jr., Joe. You talk about 5 receptions, 56 yards, averaging 11.2 yards, with a lot of it with Will Gear, who looked like hot doo-doo out there. All right? So you mean to tell me you can do that with a hot doo-doo quarterback? There's potential, Joe. Sean McEwen, someone's knocking on the door for you. J.O.B.
That's right, man. John Stevens, converted wide receiver, tight end. This guy, what is he, 6'6" or something like this?
He's the tall some biscuit. I think he's 6'6".
Tall, but they have him lining up like as a halfback. So you're thinking, is he a halfback, fullback? What is this guy?
6'6", 221 out of Louisiana.
Yeah, he looks the part, man. I'm hoping that. I mean, these cuts are gonna be tough, bro. These cuts this year are gonna be very, very tough. It's gonna be where do they go deep at, where do they go short at. Um, Speaking of that, Mike, let's talk about the wide receivers. All right, we, we we've been very, very vocal on the wide receivers, Fahoko, Jalen Tolbert. I, for one, Mike, love what Jalen Tolbert did in this game. It's what I wanted to see. Let's talk about these guys here, Mike.
Yeah, let's do it, dude. So we just got done talking about our tight ends, right? John Steven Jr., Jake Ferguson. Those guys led the receiving core with receptions. Right behind him, Rico Dowdle, then Dennis Houston, a veteran. You would kind of expect that. But let's talk about Jalen Tolbert since we want to talk about wide receivers. I've been on this guy like white on rice, and I'll pick it up right after this, Joe. Go ahead.
We got a super chat in the house. Give me cash, $5. I love the new blood at linebacker, Mike, with Overshown and Clark. Overshown with in the mouth. Swagger we need plays with confidence. Yeah, man. Yeah, we talked about them here a little bit earlier. It's what you need, right? The new blood. I think you hit it right on the head here. You got vets in the mix. You know, you've got I think we're solid at linebacker, man. I don't know what the panic was about it. I mean, now you see what these guys are doing. To me, it seems like a strength now. LVE, Clark, Parsons in the mix. I mean, I mean, they're gonna have packages for these guys, Mike. I love it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's we talked about earlier in the show. Overshown, Clark, LVE. You know, this kind of gives Cowboys a little bit of comfortability getting rid of LVE and getting even younger at that linebacker position, Joe. So it's good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, I just can't wait to see these guys going sideline to side. I mean, these linebackers are all sideline to sideline guys. I mean, LVE, his only ding was really the durability, but outside of that, this guy's making tackles left and right. Overshown looks like he's going to be the part, and Clark really ratcheting it up as well. I mean, it looks strong, and of course you got the GOAT, Michael Parsons. Kind of floating between linebacker and defensive end and this sort of thing. So I think we're good there, Mike. I think we're good there. But that going back to the wide receiver, Mike, Jalen Tolbert. All right,
Yeah.
your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, like I said, I've been on him like white on rice. Outside of Dennis Houston, he made the most of his opportunities. Was really crisp in his routes, Joe. That's something that we haven't seen. I mean, he looked like he was engaged. It looked like it was starting to come easy to him. And then Simi Fehoko, he kind of woke up late. He's been having a bad training camp. Simi Fajoko's like, hey, this is what I do. The lights are on. I'm making plays. And he came on late with a guy like Will Greer. If you can catch some balls, which he did, 4 for 27, then you got something going on. You're live support, but the heart's still beating, all right? That's what Simi Fehoko is. And then Jalen Tolbert's going to get every opportunity in the world because he's a third-round draft pick, Joe. And he's best friends with Dak Attack, all right? And so he's going to get all that. But one wide receiver that I was real disappointed in was Jalen Brooks, all right? He only had one catch for 3 yards. And they just couldn't get him the ball. They tried to force him the ball, overthrew stuff like that. But I need Jalen Brooks to step it up, Joe.
Yeah, that one there is. I think it was a mix of the lights and Will Greer just not getting the ball in the right spot. So I want to see game 2 and 3 for Jalen Brooks because I think he has it. It just, like you said, Will Greer sucks, bro. I don't want to carry a third quarterback. He ain't it.
You're right.
Yeah, they should have drafted somebody. But it is what it is. So, yeah, man, I'm with you. Jalen Tolbert, I wanted this game from him. I needed to see it. First couple series, kind of quiet. I was like, oh, man, come on, man. I want to see something. Made some plays. I think the play that he got ripped off on, the deep play, I didn't see OPI on that. I think they did a bad call there. That was a great catch by him. That was a deep pass. The touchdown that he made was a great route. I think that I think they got the defense on their heels on that one there. They were expecting different routes. And shout out to Mike McCarthy for coming up with different routes for these guys to run and to score in the red zone, right? It's all about the red zone scoring. These guys were bracketing more up and flew right by him, hit the engines, touchdown, baby, Jalen Tolbert. So yeah, man, still a work in progress there, but I like what I saw. Now it would have been scary if we didn't see anything from him, or if we saw a bad game from him. Then I think you would probably be hitting the alarm or reaching for, the alarm button. But he did good there, man. I'm with you on Brooks though. Let's see what he does here in the next couple of games. Definitely looks good in practice, but we got to see more there. Mike, the other position that we want to talk about here, obviously our first round pick. I think there's a lot of unwarranted negativity out there. We got to remember that Mazi Smith was brought in here to plug up, not be an Aaron Donald pass rusher. And I think some fans were expecting that, you know what I mean? But that's just not what he is. That's not his game. What's your thoughts on what you saw out of Mazi Smith this game one?
He took on double teams, sometimes triple teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was thinking a little bit too much there, just a little bit. But first game, he played a lot. I was really surprised of how much the Dallas Cowboys played Mazi Smith. There are some knee concerns, with training camp, yada, yada, yada. But the knee wasn't a concern, and he went out there and he played a lot. And he's in the right hands with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is a defensive line coach at heart. So Mazi Smith is in the right hands with the right coach, Joe. And, they went through the whole draft process. They went through all the evaluations. They went through everything. And Dan Quinn is the guy that said, hey, this is who we need with Will McClay. So Mazi Smith's in good hands. People don't take that. Oh, we and it's rightfully so. We give these guys, he's first round pick. We need him. Trust me, he's not going to be a Taco Charlton, all right? He's not going to be a Morris Claiborne, all right? This guy, he's going to make his dominance felt.
Oh, yeah. That's where I'm at as well, man. I think that, especially picking up the double and triple teams, I think that's why you were seeing plays sideline to sideline from these linebackers. And, Dante Fowler got into the mix there. He got some good pressure as well. I mean, that's you're getting help from Mazi Smith. But to think that he's going to come out here and be Aaron Donald, that's just not the realistic expectation. That's not what he's going to be. Stopping the run, that's what we've been needing. Step that up. Now, I mean, if he gets to the quarterback, well, that's good, right? But I think he's going to be a little bit more. They're going to bring him in some more, and then figure out what they want to do more with him. But I'm not fearful of the pick being a miss or anything like that. I think it's going to be a good pick for us, especially as we get towards the run towards the playoffs, which I'm expecting us to do. Anything less will be completely unacceptable. All right, guys?
Yeah.
This playoff conference championship or bust, bro.
That's where it's at.
That's where we're at here at the Frisco Report. This conference championship or bust, bro. Anything less, stick it up the ass.
Exactly.
Let's get there. We got to keep getting better, man. But Mike,
do it.
What anything else that stuck out from you in this game that you want to touch on?
Isaiah Land drawing penalty flags. All right, speed, quickness. So Isaiah Land, when we were doing the draft, I think I had him I think I had him like a 6th or 7th round. He went undrafted, and Cowboys picked up the phone and called him, and he's making the most of that opportunity. Cowboys and free agents, I like it. They know how to find some diamond in the roughs, all right? Cole Beasley, Miles Austin, Tony Romo, Barry Church, just to name a few. All right. Isaiah Land, he can really, really step up and be something with developmental with a guy like Dan Quinn there as the defensive coordinator. Eshaun in the house.
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be interesting to see, where some of these guys are gonna come into the mix here. Safety, I think, is pretty deep. Marcus Bell looked pretty good out there. He did really good last season. I think he's following up with another good campaign in year two. So, like I said, cuts are going to be very difficult, Mike. We talk about John Stevens, we talk about Hunter Lepke. Who's going to make this now? My concern, and I think everybody can agree to this. The weakness of this team are these backups on the offensive line, right?
Yeah.
We saw some pressure. Cooper Rush barely had any time to throw the damn ball. He was on his back. Will Greer running for his life. So, where are these guys with Zach Martin's, throw some money at this guy, because I don't want to see any of these dudes. I didn't see it from Josh Ball. I didn't see it from,
Josh
Farniak.
Ball should not be playing tackle in the National Football League.
Yeah,
Josh Ball should not be playing guard in the National Football League. Josh Ball shouldn't even be in the National Football League. Hot garbage, Joe.
Yeah. It was ugly. The defensive guys.
The only good thing that I can see is Matt Walesko. That was the only offensive line that I see and was like, hey, we might have something here.
Let's go. Might be someone there. I think Austin Richards is a bit of a project. He looks like a raw Jeremy Parnell to me. Got the same kind of body build.
That's a good comparison.
A little bit sluggish, kind of slow, kind of out the break. I would like to see a little bit more quickness there. I think you give him another offseason with a program, I think you can clean that up. But right now, I think Richards is still kind of raw. He had his moments, but he also had his bad moments as well. So, yeah, man, I definitely don't want to see any of these guys coming into the starting lineup right now. I'm actually wondering, do they go out and throw a late round pick and go steal somebody off somebody's roster, Mike?
That they could do that, or they can wait for cuts and bring somebody in then. I think that's how they're going to handle kicker too. So I think they're going to just sit and wait. We got the guys of the likes of David one time McClay with the patience and wait and cutting people, yada yada yada. So I think that's how they do it with kicker, and they possibly could do that with offensive line, Joe.
No, you're right about that. Kicker, yeah. I'm not sold on the kicker, man. I'm not.
No.
I think they might just, at the end of the day, McCarthy might just bring in his familiar guy Crosby in here and just let's go with that. He's better than what we have right now. So, we'll see what they do. I think they're just trying to go cheap right now and try to save money anywhere they can. You know how these guys are, but you can't fool around with extra points. You can't fool around with 30-yard field goals. Any of that. So it is what it is, bro. Let's talk about the return game, Mike. Turpin, bumbling. Is he making this team? What are they doing with Turpin in the return game, Mike?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I trust. I like Deuce Vaughn as a running back, but I don't know if I could trust Deuce Vaughn as a full-time punt returner, Joe. He's small, and I think one hit right at the right time with the helmet and the ball with those. If he's small, he got small arms too, right? I don't know. It's scary to me, but yeah, Turpin fumbling the ball. Not good, Joe. Not good at all. And we kind of seen that last year. He made the Pro Bowl in the preseason last year.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand it. I don't understand the hype around it. He has a big hill to climb, I think, if he wants to make this football team, because there is a guy like Jalen Brooks sniffing that wide receiver room. So, and if Simi Fehoko keeps playing like he did in the fourth quarter, maybe there's something there for if it's Simi Fehoko, and maybe that light can turn on like it did for Jalen Tolbert, or like that light did turn on for CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb wasn't, the CeeDee Lamb that we know now. He just wasn't. It took CeeDee Lamb a little while to develop. So hopefully some of these wide receivers can get there and get that going.
Yeah, something to monitor. You know what I mean? he makes plays, but he also, for every good play he makes it boneheaded plays. So it's a tough situation, man, because we're in the preseason now. You know what I mean? So these guys are the guys that you're most likely going to end up rolling with, because who else is going to be the return guy? You made a good point about Deuce Vaughn. I myself don't want to see him returning kicks either. Not on punts anyway. Maybe kickoffs. I don't mind, but on punt returns, I don't want to see him back there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that, Mike. But yeah, man, I think we did a good little post game here, real quick for you guys here on game one here of the Cowboys preseason. Lots to be optimistic about with the young guys, especially. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think we have a lot of good youth on this team, and we have the right coaches to harness this now. I like what I saw from the play calls. No more of this weird, stupid crap from Kellen Moore. I'm glad some of those signature plays that from Kellen Moore. I don't think I even saw him in this game. Thank God, Mike. Let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But real quick, will they cut Jordan Lewis? Possibly. They could trade him for offensive line. I've seen that in the comment section too. But Wanye Thomas, shout out to you for that pick. That was a good pick.
Yes.
Wanye Thomas, dude. And that was
yeah.
Turpin fumbling, dude. That second string defense, it took them 3 drives to score on a second, and that was starters. That was a team that was in the playoffs last year. All right. It took them 3 drives to score on our second string defense, all because Turpin fumbled the ball, dude. We could have held those starters out with second stringers the whole 3 drives, Joe. But Turpin had a bumble with the ball.
Yeah, man. Thomas, I forgot about him, man. Great. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be so hard to cut some of these guys because you got Thomas in the mix. You got Marcus Bell. So, man. Yes, it's going to be tough.
Wanye.
No.
Cowboys right here _ Cowboys Corner on the X and on the threads. All right. Give me a follow there. And no, thank you. Oh, thank you. You guys, the comment section was moving today. Appreciate all the interaction, guys.
Yeah, that's where it's at, guys. We can't do this without you guys. Appreciate the chat room conversation as usual. Appreciate everybody that showed up tonight. A great conversation. And we'll be back here soon for another show, obviously. And we'll definitely cover the next game coming up here in the preseason. We'll continue to cover what's going on with the team, roster cuts, rumors, trades, this sort of thing, guys. But that's all we have tonight, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Pound that like button, and we'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace.
Peace.